Welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today it's all about pruning and repotting for spring. So that intro is just a little taste of what this video is going to be. It'll be a hyperlapse with all the different trees that I'm pruning up. I may stop on a special one to talk, but most likely it's just going to be a ton of trees, and then I'll wrap it up at the end. So yes, what you saw in the intro, this is on this side, American Yellowwood. Sorry. Okay. On this side of the path is American Yellowwood. They have yet to flower, but they have a nice deciduous, light green colored leaf. And then over here we have some river birch. So I'm hoping to get some different character in the trunks, like a forest divided. But yeah, that's where I was going with it. These two were repotted in larger pots. I had forgotten that I did a few of them when I combined forests to cut down on, having to move a million pots. So I started making a bunch of forests, which I love. And then the second one you saw in the intro, these are Dawn Redwoods. They were sold to me as coastal redwood seeds. All these trees are from seed. More than 90% of the ones I'll be pruning in this video and repotting are from seed 6 years ago. So anyways, these are Dawn Redwoods. I thought they were coastal redwoods. So I planted them as if it was a coastal redwood scene. These are Japanese Alcovas, these two. And so just took care of those in the intro. The reason why I didn't mess with these is because they're extremely sensitive, and I just don't really think they need a pruning yet this year. I did a couple of them last year, and so right now I'm going to let them kick off from spring, and then I'll probably take out whole branches and not be pruning, like halfway down the branch, so to speak. Right, so pruning and repotting, that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, so I lied. I'm going to be nipping these tips here because they've got them going all the way down, and once they start coming out, they get pissed off if you prune them at all. At least that's what mine have done. So I'm going to nip the tips today, and then if I have to remove any branches, I'll do that later on. All right, just getting the last bit of prep work done. I know I said it was gonna be all hyperlapse, but I don't want to skip these parts. So I wired a few trees last year, this being one of them, Jupiter horizontalis. I have 3 of them, and so I'm just gonna remove the wire. The bite is not bad, and I did another one of these. I already removed the wire on this one, but on some of my spruce and black pines, not so good. So I'm pretty much done wiring. It took me 5 years to do a wiring, and now I'm done. I'll go back to the directional pruning, clip and grow stuff. So that, and I'm gonna stack them back in here in an organized fashion so that when I'm taking them out, I know what order I want them in, because we're going to be dropping into the freezing at night over the next week, and I don't want those fresh roots and cuts and stuff to be exposed, and I don't want extreme amounts of sun on them as well. We're getting some really sunny days with the fresh cuts. So the final step before I really get rolling is I have already added 1 bag of this perlite to recycled bonsai soil, topsoil, peat moss, mulch, all you name it. And I'm going to add 1 more just to kind of spread this out and get it a little more light and airy for these bonsai roots. All right, now it's time. All right, so I repotted this thing last year, all black locust forest, and I just had a pause to show you these crazy trunks and roots. Stay out of the... There we go. Trying not to cast a shadow. Look at this one. Boom. across and around the other one and then goes up. Really cool. I like it because that's exactly how they pop up around here. Little clusters. And they have crazy texture and character to their windiness and texture to the bark. So anyways, black locust, the only downfall is it's covered in thorns. So I'm going to be giving this thing a little canopy chop. Screw it. Let's stick around. These things grow very quickly. I'm gonna take them way back. Since they have plenty of soil now, they were in a small bird bath. I don't know if you can see in the distance. But I had 3 plastic bird baths with very shallow pots, so to speak. And these just ran out of room after a couple of years, so I said, you know what? I want them to just go crazy, so I'm going to put them in a good amount of soil. So I use this gardening bin. This thing's going to come across and just attack everything, so I'm going to get rid of it. I like black locust because they have like the big leaves with all the little small petals, so it gives you a tropical feel. But they're really cold hardy, pretty much respond well to any pruning, even if you have to do it at a time of year that's not ideal. I used to overwinter these in the basement, but after a few years they were cold hardy enough to do outside. The majority of those pines and evergreens and really cold hardy trees. Figure if I get the bulk of these big ones out of the way, then I can see if there's any cross branching or any detail work I want to do afterwards. So this is going to turn from what I said as a lot of time lapse into me talking about a couple of specific plantings, and then I'll wrap it up and continue on another video, I guess. Which I never say it enough, but I appreciate y'all watching and all the comments. Oh yeah, threw that right into the soil bin. That would be a fun handful. This thing's tough to carry pre-pruning because you got branches going out on every side, these big thorns. So trying to even get a grip on it without hitting yourself in the face. I'm sure there's an easier way to do it, like ask for help, but come on. Alright, a lot of these branches down on that little wraparound one I was talking about, I'm going to take those out. Kind of steer its branches away from that tree so that, you know, they look cool together and not like jumbled. Somehow combined a trunk and a branch on one prune there. Don't do that. I'm gonna take off this whole inner piece here. Top little chunk that gets closer to this tree and then comes back out. Really does nothing. And there's another branch below it, kind of on the same line, but it looks cooler coming away. And going in the middle of the planting without like, you know, cutting any trunk lines or anything bad. So I'm gonna take this lower one out though. I don't like that. Pretty much give this little one a chance to really branch off of this out here in a way so it starts to get its own character other than the trunk line. There's a few maples and or birches that have popped up in here last year. I'm just pulling them out or nipping them out. Normally I like that, but for this planting I wanted only black locust. So these are a couple of tiny ones right here. It's funny, this thing, same seed pod, boom, these are half the width of my pinky, and this one's double the width of my pinky, so pretty wild. I think that's looking pretty good. Can't spend all day on one tree when you choose to have so many. I'm fine with that. I prefer to do everything, you know, standing up, moving quickly, even when I'm in chill mode. It's just how I'm wired. Not like Peter Chan pruning style, but you know, I'm not gonna sit and think about pruning a branch off, you know, more than 3 seconds. Couple lower little ones. Cool. So let's get in here and take a look. All right, I can get a lot closer now that I'm not being poked at. See what I mean about the trunk character and texture? Coming around this little cluster I like. It's like 2 little tiny trees right here. Boom and boom. You got your dominant tall one with a taller canopy. And then just a wild one that you almost think is just a root. It's like, nope. You're on a walk, you're not tripping over a root, that's a whole tree, and then you look up and it's so dope. And this guy, whoa. So this one right here, I contemplated fixing the roots and making it not wrap around at one point, but I'm so happy I didn't because that's just really cool. That is what, oh my God, get out of the damn shadow, Jared. That is what hiking in Northwest Connecticut's all about. Seeing crazy tree roots, tripping over them while you're chasing your toddler. All right, y'all, I think I'm just gonna wrap it up with that. So we did some prunings, barely any hyperlapse, but much more to come. As you see, got trees everywhere. And I gotta get a battery for the mower, and I gotta get the dump trailer filled for the dump. I'm not avoiding being inside with the toddler and the baby. It's nap time, so I'm not helping my wife. Thanks for spending some time with me, y'all. So for my family, yours at the ranch, cheers.